Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Welcome to where energy meets the divine. Today, I would love to talk about psychic abilities, intuition, having an expanded awareness, having an awareness of the multisensory world. All of these subjects mean the very same thing. To be cognitively aware while you're in the physical realm of information, your connection to the divine, other beings of light, your spirit guides, departed loved ones who want to maintain a relationship with you. This is all very normal. There are certain things that human beings can do, though, to help themselves be in a vibrational state where they can have an observation that these things are occurring, because the communication never stops, the connection never departs, but the human awareness of that can fluctuate because many humans refuse to be present, focus too much on logic, and don't have an awareness of life outside of this incredible, amazing universe that we live in called Earth, and recognize there are many, many more universes available to us. And so I'm going to give you some key points that could help you to really develop the skill set to maintain an interaction, to at the very least go in and out of this awareness of your connection so that you can feel guided and loved and supported, which is really a quite profound experience, to feel adored and cherished by the multisensory world, to have your loved ones pop in and you have some sort of experience with them that touches your soul and gives you great compassion and comfort and helps you to continue your life path here in this beautiful physical reality. So several things need to happen. First, you need to recognize that all of this is true. You already have the skill set inside of you, and you're now learning to practice sensing the connection. It's already there. It's already working. You just want to have an awareness inside of your own being that it's all true and it's real. And as you allow yourself to have more of this awareness, it will be important for you to have your vibration up. We talk about self-love and self-worth all the time and feeling joy. Those are critical. And I know it's not always, easy to stay in the vibration of self-love. It's not always easy to stay in the vibration of joy. But if you can notice when you're in happiness and when you're not, that's incredibly important, because then you can stop yourself from being in low frequency and low vibration and happiness, especially if there's no real good reason to be there. Your mind has just gone off into all kinds of tangents and has allowed you to lower your frequency as you're thinking about something that happened 30 years ago, right? Or 10 years ago, or even a couple years ago. Remember, the present moment is where everything is. So these are key elements of you being in a space where you can hear, see, feel, or somehow have an experience with everything that you're a part of. Remember, 4 tons, I think it's 400 tons, but a lot of stardust falls on Earth every single year. You are part of the cosmos. You came from the cosmos, and you will return when you're ready to a life that is pure vibration and pure energy. And we live in a life that's all energy, but we have a physical third dimensional perception about it. And although that perception is fun and interesting, it also isn't telling you the whole story. It's not giving you all the juice that you need to make your life fulfilling and to allow yourself to manifest and create what really brings you true happiness. And also for you just to figure out what you really desire, you need multisensory help, because most human beings have a false low perception of their value and their worth. And when we have that type of frequency or vibration running in us, and lots of humans have it consistently, constantly, I even call it self-loathing. People don't always like that term, but it's true. A lot of humans hate themselves. They may not even be conscious of it. Most of them don't care. They don't realize that it's a problem. that it's a vibrational pattern that we're working to vibrate out. So you have this awareness that you are deserving and worthy, and you're learning to like yourself and love yourself. And you're also learning that you're valuable and deserving. These are all great, beautiful qualities and vibrational frequencies that allow you to line up so that you can perceive and experience something that's already there. It's always been there. This is not new. Waking up to it can be very new to a human being who hasn't experienced it before or hasn't experienced it in a regular, daily, hourly potential opportunity, because all of it exists. It's just about you getting into the vibrational patterns so you can have the experience. It's quite fun and fascinating. It's quite delicious. So here are a couple things that could also be quite helpful, despite this self-love thing that humans have kind of this propensity to not want to be in that frequency. It's something you're going to work on for the rest of your life. At the very least, it will make you happier. It will bring you more joy, more freedom, and better manifestation, because your vibration will be elevated and all the things we love in life exist in a higher frequency. All the things we don't like in life exist in a low frequency. So that alone, knowing that the stuff that we don't want is in low vibration, could be something that inspires you to keep your energy elevated in that higher vibrational presence. But there are other things you can do. Ask the universe important questions. I think some people, as they're working with this connection that they already have and trying to understand it, and they could ask questions that maybe aren't as important, and it could be fun at first, like, where are my keys? And all of a sudden they have an image in their head. They know exactly where their keys are and they go get it. That's lovely. But the more you ask questions that are in alignment with your soul, there's going to be this greater attraction to you and this greater force of beings throughout the universe who want to enjoy a connection and participate with you. So what would be an important question? Let's say you're stuck on something, like you've been trying to create it or remove it from your life. You've worked on it for a while. You're not sure what to do. You've done everything that you know to do, and you're really trying on the frequency of surrender and letting go, getting out of the way. Good job. That means you're not thinking about it as much. You're creating some sort of detachment, which is critical when you're getting higher vibrational information. You have to detach from this physical, logical way of receiving information and the limited answers that come from the logical mind, because it's very limited. Intuition is unlimited. So you're forming some sort of detachment, and perhaps you're going to talk to the heavens. So maybe tonight you've decided you're going to ask an important question about this area of your life that you feel is kind of stuck. Wait maybe till the sun goes down and earth gets a little quiet wherever you are in the world, or it can be done first thing in the morning too. And you walk into your favorite part of the house or your yard, wherever that space might be, and you look up at the sky or the ceiling, and you first have a moment of gratitude, like, thank you so much for this extraordinary day, or for my extraordinary life, or whatever you feel something special about human reality. And then say, please express to me whatever's in my highest good about the situation. And notice when we're asking the question, it's better if you're neutral, not too detailed, because once you get too detailed in the question, your logical mind is now involved, and there's a limitation to what the universe can answer you about if you're putting a lot of logic. It doesn't mean the universe doesn't have the information. It does. It has everything. You don't even need to ask the question. They already know all the answers. But we're asking the question in such a way to get your ego, which is drenched in fear, to relax and not participate, because we don't want the ego, which is in your mind, to be active in this multi-universal conversation. So you're going to ask some sort of wonderful question. It could be simply, would it be in my highest good to let go? Is this thing that I've worked so hard at, is it in my highest good to not have it in my life? So that's an important question. It's the question that people don't want to ask. They don't want to ask that question. But yet it's the question that's inside you, that's vibrating you, that's keeping you away from the thing that you really want. So ask important questions, work on detachment, letting go. And then after you ask the question, instead of being there, where's the answer? Where's the answer? Again, surrender and just be open. Think of it after you ask a question, and I do this before I do a reading. It's just a natural thing that overcomes me. Even when I'm teaching a class, I feel like I'm about to step into a frequency where I don't know anyone. And of course, many times when I do a reading, I don't know the person or I haven't seen them in years, right? So it's like going on a blind date, but a blind date where you don't care. You don't have any expectations. You want to stay open. Like you don't know. You want to stay in the unknowing. That's crucial in terms of receiving information, because if you go back to logical thinking and putting up roadblocks about how the answer needs to be delivered or what it's supposed to look like, or it can't be this way, then you're not going to get the full picture. So you have to detach and remember solutions are surprising in a good way. They are communicated to you in compassionate and loving ways, and they are freeing and powerful. So I hope all of that helps you in your connection to the multisensory world. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go to the questions now. So people call in and leave a voicemail on my website. You can go to energyintuitive.com or mariemanuchehri.com, go to the podcast page, and there's instructions. You do get a free self-hypnosis, and in thanking you for leaving this beautiful question. Okay.
Hi, Marie. My name is Jan from Pennsylvania. I'm going to ask you about my restless legs. It only happens at night, and it goes into having sore hips only at night as well. Tossing and turning. I can fall asleep fine, but then I'll wake up and toss and turn. And if I get 6 hours of sleep a night, I'm a really happy person. Just wondered your thoughts on that. And then I do have a bladder urgency that I've had since childhood, really. And, it's getting worse. And the old Kegels, they're not really doing much. So I'm wondering if you had any thoughts about that as well. I really appreciate you. Take care. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Jan. So restless legs, could need more calcium, more potassium, more zinc, but also I've heard increasing your vitamin A when you go to bed at night. I don't have the restless leg syndrome, but I take vitamin A before I go to bed, and it helps me sleep. It helps me sleep. Overall, your sleep issues are hormonally related, so it would be important to have some labs drawn. And if you decide to do some hormone replacement therapy, then it would be bioidentical from a compounded pharmacy. Those are the safest and the healthiest hormones to utilize, in my opinion. Yeah, so that's what I think. That's a really great question, by the way. Oh, the bladder. So bladder, when people have bladder problems, it's all about fear. So fear rests deeply within the second chakra, and the second chakra governs the bladder, the appendix, the lower back, part of the small intestines, the urethra, and reproductive organs too. But the bladder itself, along with the urethra and the kidneys, are the mechanisms of where fear is stored. And we know that because of the fight or flight response that can be exhibited through the adrenal glands that sit on top of the kidneys. So this is all fear related, especially since it's been since childhood. I would do some inner child work where you might need someone to help you with this. I'm not a therapist, so I can give ideas, but it could take a long time to describe this and explain it, where your inner children, because that's when it started for you, get to know that they're safe and that everything's okay. And then we can get the bladder and the urethra to calm down. I just did a little bit of work on it because you just let me in to this area. So I just did a little bit of work on it. And remember, the opposite for the second chakra of fear is joy. Joy, 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 joy. So getting authentically happy, learning to play would be wonderful for you. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Hello, Marie. This is Tammy from Charlotte, North Carolina. My question is about my 22-month-old great-nephew.
Oh.
He's a baby doll, and he is so smart, but he doesn't speak.
It's okay.
He seems to understand words perfectly fine. If you ask him a question, he will gesture or grunt to answer you, but he will not use words.
Yeah.
Of course, I try not to compare him with other kids since they're all so unique, but I'm wondering if there's an emotional or spiritual reason for why he's not talking yet. If there is any insight you could offer, I'd be so grateful. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Tammy. I'm sorry this has worried you. I think he's perfectly fine. I do. Different kids have different experiences and their developmental functioning. That's really why the educational system in the United States needs a radical reframing. Not what's happening right now, but a radical reframing. Like we have to have things to do to change it, not just eradicate the educational system, but actually change it. So we shouldn't put a bunch of kids in one room and say, okay, everybody has to learn the same thing right now, because kids are different. One of my grandchildren did not smile until she was 6 months old. And her mother worked very hard at getting her to crack a smile. It took 6 months before she would smile at any of us. She's extremely bright. So kids who are really bright have a lot of intelligence. They're absorbing so much information that it can take them a while to integrate how to use their body to express themselves. I would not be worried about him. In fact, if you could stop worrying, that could actually go a long way to help him. I would create a what if question. What if my grandnephew is fabulous and will always be successful? I think that's a lovely way to describe it. And I'm sure, if things don't change, at some point his parents will have him tested, but I'm not worried about him at all. I think he's, again, very bright and he absorbs a lot of information. He just doesn't have the time, nor is he ready, does he care to talk. He's just not interested in it. And he doesn't really need it. Everybody takes care of everything for him. He doesn't really need to communicate. They're staring at him all the time and doing whatever he needs. So he really doesn't need to communicate. But that's a good question. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. My name is Pia. I am calling from Louisiana. I am a nurse as well, still in my career. Have enjoyed my nursing career. When I first started nursing, I knew that is what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm at an impasse. Outside of my career, I'm not sure where I need to go, what I need to be doing. Feeling a little unfulfilled. I think I've always felt a little out of place, or so to speak, I didn't have my tribe. I have good friends and have good extended family, but I think I've always felt a little out of place. Now in my late 40s, 50s, learning about empaths and chakras.
Energy.
I recognize that I'm absolutely an empath. And now some of the things in my life make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm at an impasse right now. I don't know whether to stay, whether to leave. I desire a partner. I desire to be in marriage. That is not working out. And I really just don't know where to go or what to do right now. So I'm really hoping you can give me some insight. I am grateful for having come across your YouTube channel. I'm grateful for all you have done in nursing. Nursing can be a very hard career, a hard job.
It can be.
So thank you and blessings to you.
Thank you, and blessings to you as well. And thank you for all the work you do in the world. I think I left nursing right before it got really hard, because I left in 2000. So 25 years ago is when I took a leave of absence and never returned. And now the acuity is higher, right? So the patients are more acutely ill, require more care, are heavier to take care of, because when you're super ill, you can't really help take care of yourself. Right? And then COVID, I mean, yikes, that must have been challenging. I have a dear friend who was an ER doctor who left medicine after the pandemic, because that was challenging. So obviously you're supposed to work in energy medicine. You love it. You love this whole thing. You will need to have to work on elevating your energy, getting more happy, feeling love for yourself, for your reality, even when you're not at work or when you're not doing things that can bring you some sort of fulfillment. This will help you to attract a healthy partner. So what's happened is you've made a significant shift in your frequency that you're not going to choose unhealthy partners anymore. Great. And because you haven't quite reached your vibration of believing that you're worthy and deserving of having a wonderful partner, you're kind of in that limbo area where you're not attracting anyone, or not very many people anyway, because you're not taking in the people who are not in your best interest, but you haven't gotten to the vibration yet to allow yourself to take in the people who are in your best interest. That's what's happened. So if you could start to feel, and I mean this sincerely when I say it, these exercises that I teach everybody on this podcast are exercises that I do and I teach in all my classes. I do everything that I teach, everything regularly. Falling in love with oneself isn't just something you do for 2 weeks and you're done. I wish it was that way, but it's not. It's a lifelong experience. So if you could start to feel super, 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 super happy because you already have a career that lights your soul on fire. You now have a partner that you deserve. And so you've elevated your self-worth, and you now believe that you could have a partner that you deserve. If that's what I want you to start playing with and practicing with for 3 to 5 minutes every day, so that your energy gets comfortable with the frequency of being fulfilled romantically and in your career path. That's what you need to do so that you can attract it. Everything's fine. Nothing's out of whack, but you need to shift your frequency so that it can actually come into your energy system. Like attracts like. When we're in a certain vibrational pattern, we attract the vibration that it matches. So we're asking you to increase that frequency so that you can attract the fulfillment that you deserve, which is exciting. That's very, very exciting. Okay.
Good evening, Marie, or whatever time it is where you are. My name's Cheri, and I'm a big fan, as I'm sure you can already feel. I've been listening to you for years. I'm calling with a question that's really close to my heart. I used to live in Victoria, BC, and I now live on a smaller island on the East Coast. And while it's quite beautiful here, I deeply miss my old home. I moved because I felt a lot of pressure. I was ignoring what my heart really wanted. And now I'm just in a place, it's been 8 years of living on the East Coast, and it doesn't feel like the right place for me. I feel out of place. Every time I go to Victoria, which is, it's been quite often, I feel like I don't stick out like a sore thumb. I feel like I meet people easily, and then I'm here and I feel like it's hard to make friends. I don't love the culture. Generally speaking, I don't love the people. I don't love the weather. I guess I'm wondering what you see as far as my family relocating. My husband's open to it. He doesn't want to move back to Victoria. He doesn't like it there, but I would love to live on Vancouver Island, and I don't know if that's really feasible because his business is here, and it would be more challenging to live in a place like that with his line of work. So I guess I'm just wondering what you see and if you have any tips for me on keeping my energy elevated, because I feel like a lot of my lower vibrational energy comes from the fact that I'm literally in this environment all the time. And so I'm really trying to work on keeping it high so that I can create what I want in my life. But it can be hard when, I'm going to the only cafe in the town and, my heart really wants like a bunch of cafes to choose from, And so I get bored and kind of, you get the picture. So any input on that? And also he's the only one working right now. And so it's just kind of challenging to uproot a family to an entirely new location, off, like I want to leave the island. So I greatly appreciate your insight and I look forward to hearing from you.
Hi, Cher. I don't see you leaving anytime soon until you can totally get your husband on board. Like you said, he's the main income creator right now, and he has a business, and he's well situated for it from what I can see. So he would have to be enticed, and I would recommend that anyway, unless you plan to go to work and be a joint contributor financially. So here's what I recommend, because this is what you have to do anyway, because whatever's going on, you may blame it on the environment, but you live in a gorgeous place. It's really quite lovely. And of course, some environments can have negative aspects on certain people. I've been to one state, I'm not going to say where it is, many years ago, and I just couldn't move any energy while I was there at all. And so it's a state that I haven't visited since, and I don't really have a desire to go there because I just couldn't move energy. I was just like frozen. It was fascinating. So I clearly can't live there and work there. It's not going to happen. But you need, if you can, to shift your energy so that no matter where you are, no matter what you're experiencing, you have full access to your energy and your vibrational pattern. You can do this. That's what I would work on, because I don't see you moving soon. I think you will eventually, but it has to be when your husband feels inspired to move too. He doesn't feel inspired to move. He's like, why would I move? Well, there's no reason for me to move right now. It doesn't make sense. And I agree with him, quite frankly. And your family is situated. Everybody's happy but you. You're the only one who's unhappy. So sorry to say, if you had the career and you wanted to create a different, physical reality where your family lives, great, then you could do that. But I just think it would be too jarring for the family. But look at it this way. This is your opportunity to learn how to run your energy elevated. I know you said you're trying, but I think if you just get into your body a little bit more, because raising one's vibration is not about the outside. The outside can certainly help us if we find things that make us happy and we connect with them or spend time with them. It can certainly assist us and help us. But it's going to be incredibly important for you to learn to be inside your body and find how to be happy inside your physical form. That's going to help your intuition. It's going to help your vibration. It's going to get everything rocking and rolling. And then it would be a good time to move it sometime after you've gotten your energy in a fabulous place. Because again, it's not about our environment most of the time. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Sorry I didn't give you exactly what you wanted.
Hi, Marie. My name is Lori Bouchard. I'm just calling or messaging about my middle daughter. She's 8 years old, and she has developed neurological tics, and they've become more noticeable in the last 2 years. But looking back on videos, I think she's had them her entire life.
I do too.
I am a naturopath, so I've tried all the things from keto to Reiki to magnetism to herbs and supplements, diet, all of the things. My husband's also a chiropractor, so working with her spine and adjustments and alignment. And nothing seems to be changing the situation. And it is heartbreaking as a mom to see your daughter go through this, because it affects her confidence, ability to make friends. It just impacts her in so many ways, even her learning. So any insight that you have, I'd really appreciate just understanding what is going on with this sweet little girl. She's 8 years old, and she's a middle child. So she has an older sister and a younger sister. Thank you so much.
She's lovely, by the way. I wish you and your husband, and I know this is the hard part, would not be looking at her so intensely and trying to figure this out. Since you both obviously have great knowledge and wonderful tools and you've provided them, if you could back out your energy, because sometimes that can make it worse when you're hyper focused on something and staring at it and trying to figure it out and feeling uncomfortable about it. That's also not great for her, because she needs to learn to detach a little bit from this to help the neurological system calm down. So this is going to be connected to her 7th chakra. Have you taught her about spirituality? Maybe she's the type of kid who needs to know about spirit. That could be really helpful. That could help the 7th vortex take in more light and move it into the body. And also, have you used 5-HP? I think that's what it's called, which affects the neurological system and the intestinal tract and then in the brain. I think that's what it's called. Because I know that's a common supplement that's used for children. And of course, you're a naturopath, so you'll know how to utilize it. So if you guys could back out and start to see the tics, and I agree with you, she's had them all this time, as beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. Because if there are other solutions that need to come through to help her, it's going to come through from that vibration, that it's stunning, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, versus, we can have this for our child. And you have every right to feel that way, but that doesn't work when it comes to healing. When I work with clients who have health issues, I only see how beautiful and healthy they are. That's how I'm able to help them and reverse their diseases or make their disease not increase, right? So that's what you need to do. I hope that's helpful. Thank you. And thank you everybody for listening to this show today. It was a joy to spend time with you. Happy eclipse energy and have fun with the very thin veil. Bye-bye for now.